He's got a $41 million cap hit. They can give him a sort of dummy extension, create some future voidable years to kick that salary cap down the can, give him another $14 million in cap space. But they could still ask him to take a salary pay cut if they feel like Roethlisberger is willing. It's uncertain if he's going to go that far, but they still have to hash out those details. Should be pretty close, though.
Yeah, the most important pieces of that seem to be the team wants him back. He wants to be back. It seems logical to assume they'll figure out a way to make that happen. All right, excellent. Meanwhile, there's the other quarterback situation, well, formerly of the state of Pennsylvania. Because a trade to acquire Carson Wentz won't be official until the start of the league year, Colts head coach Frank Reich cannot specifically talk about him. But when Reich was asked about how to build up confidence in a quarterback, there was no mystery who he was talking about.
Getting good quarterback play is something that is necessary to win a world championship. And obviously here in this organization, the standard has been set. We need to continue to have that kind of play, and everybody loses confidence for a moment. One of the ways to build confidence back is you go back to the basics and you build it one play at a time.
I find this part of it the most fascinating of anything, the psychological piece of it, because Rob Ninkovich, at times last year, Carson Wentz looked like he was I want to say almost like a broken man, like almost he was defeated out there for a variety of reasons. So in your experience as an athlete, how do you build that back? How do you put that back together again?
Well, first off, I'd say, look, let's take that number 11 and let's restart this thing. Let's start with a brand new number. Come out here to Indianapolis. You don't need to be number 11. You don't need that number. That's old Wentz. You don't need that. Let's go get yourself a new number. Let's restart this thing one play at a time, just like Coach said. You have to restart from the ground up. And you can't say, okay, we're going to just right into the playoffs. Here we go. You're going to be right into your old self of 2017. That's not the way it works, especially after having injuries. And you look at a baseball player with the yips. Sometimes they can't even throw the baseball down the field. So having that confidence as an athlete, that is major. You think about a golfer that has the shanks and they can't hit the ball down the fairway, or a pitcher that can't throw. It happens to athletes. So how do you get that back? Well, number one, having the support of your coaches, which is really going to help. Having Frank as your head coach that you've had in the past can definitely help get you back on track. And that relationship, you see it just in that embrace right there. Having a great relationship with your head coach brings you confidence as a football player. When you know that coach stood on the table for you, he wants you there as your quarterback, as the starting quarterback, it helps bring confidence into you automatically. So for him to get that back, starts with the head coach, starts day one. Change the number. I think number 11 should be put to bed.
Bart, what do you think? You look skeptical. What is with the face?
Man, if I'm Carson Wentz, I'm walking in the door, I'm kicking it in, I'm saying, "Hey, young punk, Pittman, run me my number, man. Get out of here. I got DNA, I got blood in the soil sitting in here in this league. There's no way that you're running my number." That's where it starts. Then I'm saying, listen, athletes are some of the most narcissistic people in the world. The last person that Carson Wentz is blaming is himself. Because really, it was the organization, the Philadelphia Eagles organization, that let him down. Listen, the fact that the Philadelphia Eagles are still in the running for trying to go get Jamar Chase means that they missed on their draft pick in Jalen Reagor the year before. Deshaun Jackson was injured. Zach Ertz was injured. Alshon Jeffries was on the end of his career and slowing down. So it's not about Carson Wentz. Anybody's going to look like a mere mortal. We saw Patrick Mahomes having to put every trick he had in his pocket to try and stay afloat. This is a player that was sacked 50 times. And everybody's going to say, well, 50 times, that was his fault. He's holding on to the football. Well, the mobile quarterback that got in and Jalen Hurts got in, and in 4 games, he got sacked 13 times. It's great to have protection. It's great to have insurance, right? And he's going to have that with that great offensive line, and he's going to have the opportunity to show everybody that it was more about the Eagles and their lack of personnel around him than it was about him and his inability to play the position. He's a stud, and he's going to take this team and make them a true Super Bowl contender.
You can write that down. It's a fascinating look at both sides of it. I mean, and it'll be interesting to see which side he takes of it. Nico, give me a quickie. Go ahead.
Well, the players don't own the numbers. They rent the numbers. There's going to be another number eventually that comes in there. And the Colts were ranked 12th in pass protection, just behind the Philadelphia Eagles. So you say great pass protection. The Eagles were 11th. The Colts were 12th.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment.
He's a little bit more mobile. He's a little bit more mobile than Phillip Rivers.
He's a good deal more mobile than Phillip Rivers. Then again, so am I, but that's a different topic for a different time. All right, meanwhile, on planet Earth, we've gotten a lot of mileage out of this week. On the I Am Athlete podcast, Cam Newton said of Bill Belichick, quote, "I think Bill Belichick is the most misunderstood person in all of sports. He is dope as blank." Now, we have asked pretty much everyone on our show their thoughts on this all week. But I've been waiting all week, Ninko, for you, because you're the only one I've got who played for him and for a long time. So what is the dopest thing you ever saw Bill Belichick do?
The dopest thing, probably after a massive beatdown we put on Tennessee. I think it was like 59-0. They didn't even score. Bill was very happy about that outcome. And it happened to snow in that game. I'm walking out to my car, and all of a sudden you have incoming snowballs, and it's Bill Belichick, making snowballs, having a good time. So that was pretty fun. But I'd say in general, just his coaching career and the way that he's able to lead a football team is pretty dope. And Bill in general, again, like I said, he's not like everyone sees in the media when he's doing his interviews. I mean, he has fun. Guys laugh, cut it up with him. And you have to be inside that locker room to really experience what Bill Belichick really is as a person. So in the media, it's really hard to evaluate his post game when he's talking to the media. That's not Bill Belichick. That's just a part of him when he's a football coach.
I feel the need to continue to explain that video that you saw was Bill Belichick dressed as a pirate at a rollerblading party for Randy Moss around Halloween time. I feel the need to explain it because otherwise you might be wondering, what the hell is Bill Belichick doing in this? That was the dopest thing that we could find. All right, let me run the floor through some of the college basketball action last night. Gonzaga, #1 in the country, challenged in the first half by Santa Clara, but ultimately 9-75. Gonzaga stays unbeaten, their 27th straight win dating back to last year. In the Big Ten last night, a game you saw on ESPN, Luka Garza, #9 Iowa, visiting #3 Michigan, and it was all Wolverines. They dominate with a 22-point win. They're the 6th team in Big Ten history with 3 20-point wins over ranked opponents prior to the tournament. They look real good. And then another big game in the Big Ten last night. Aaron Henry had 18. Michigan State knocking off Ohio State in a huge win for the Spartans, 71-67. They need wins to try and get themselves into the tournament. It came 2 days after Tom Izzo team beat #5 Illinois by 9 points. So they are making a late run. And then this note here, how important is it to be a 1 seed? Well, a 1 seed has won the title each of the last 3 and 4 of the last 5 years. Since seeding began in 1979, 23 national champs have been won by a 1 seed, and that does not include 2013 Louisville.